was born for Christmas Day to keep his children from going astray. He came down to earth from heaven up above, and with him he brought a heart full of love. Christmas time is here. Joy both far and near. Come, everybody, let's feel his touch. Hello, everybody, Merry Christmas. Lights in the windows, a symbol of love. Christmas trees gleaming that light up the world. Time after time, this great story we sing. Only at Christmas, the joy that it brings. Christmas time is here. Of joy, both far and near. Oh, come, everybody, let's feel his touch. Oh no, everybody, Merry Christmas. Christmas time is here. Oh, joy from both far and near. Come, everybody, let's feel his love. Hello, everybody, Merry Christmas. Time after time, this great story we sing. Only at Christmas, the joy that it brings. Only at Christmas, the joy that it brings. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
You ready?
What's up, y'all? Yes, I'm ready for Christmas, so I should let y'all hear the little kid at the end of the thing. Sorry. It's all about the kids.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it's all about the kids. The reason why I play the Christmas song is we just came out of Thanksgiving. We're getting in the spirit, you know, peace, joy, and goodwill and blessings. But it's more about the kids. But what I want to say is, y'all, it's time to throw that turkey and them leftovers. It's done. It's a done deal. It's a done deal. If you got turkey left over and you haven't made the soup already out of it, anything that's left over in there is no good. It's against the rule.
So the soup is the last thing we should make?
Soup is the last thing because, you know, the bones of turkey give that soup a lot of flavor.
Mm-hmm.
So you're supposed to be down to the carcass by now. You know what I mean? Any vegetables that you have left can go in there, stuff like that. You know what I mean? But
our family's so big, we ain't even have leftovers.
Well, that's good because we was done with that by Sunday. Sunday we had like 6 pizzas. Yeah. So welcome back. We're here at WCMD. This is the Comfort Level Podcast. I'm Janny Schmanny. I'm here with my girl Mogul Queen, Janika Quinonat. She is back. I'm back. And we're back to do what we do. That's
You
what we
already
do.
know, bringing topics
That's
every day.
right. Bring in topics, anything that we think can help. Um, so today's topic is about co-parenting and just to let you know that whether you're together or apart, co-parenting is teamwork.
Mm-hmm.
You know what
At
I
least
mean?
it should be.
It should be. It's not always though. It's
Mhm.
hard. It's the hardest thing. You know, you and your child's other parent are called co-parents. That means they have a mother and they have a father.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, nobody came in this world without a mother and a father.
No matter if it was
No,
insemination,
no.
it still was a father. It still had to take a male to do it.
Yeah, but not all of us are together. You know, we don't
Mhm.
live together or we're not in intimate relationships anymore. You know, but we still have to co-parent those kids. You
Yes,
know,
we
we
do.
still, our titles don't change.
No, no matter what. I mean, and let's say that what is it? The Latin root word for parent in there is pair. Is a pair.
Two.
It takes two.
It
And
takes
so
two
when
to
one
tango.
parent only does
Yeah.
this, when only one parent takes on the responsibility, parents don't change. It'll say sole parent or a single parent, but it still say parent
Exactly.
because it's supposed to be a pair, you know?
Exactly.
So you had to add the sole or the single in front.
Yeah.
So no matter what, it's supposed to be always two
Yeah.
from the beginning.
So today we're going to talk about the co-parenting part, and then next segment we're going to move on to the single parenting part.
Yep.
So we're not leaving it out because
Mhm.
most of us are single parent, but I did want to start with the single parenting because nobody begins as a single parent. You begin as a
Yep.
co-parent and you always will be a co-parent. You know, the co-parents, they must put their child's needs first. You know, like you gotta, you know, you don't always agree, but you gotta ask yourself what is best for the child. You know, you have to use a team approach and calmly seek positive solutions. What is best for the child? Now, as a mother, we have our opinions, especially if we have custody of the kids. We have our opinions of what's best for the child.
Right.
You know what I mean? I know what's best for my child.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you over there.
And sometimes some parents don't know what's best for the child because you know what? You might think that you know what's best for the child, but then the child tells you, you know, grows up telling you that they wanted it this way or they rather had it that way.
Yeah.
So, but you know, if both of them is there from the beginning, co-parenting, then I feel like the child has a better chance of growing up as a healthy adult.
You gotta do. That's the first thing you gotta do.
And you have to wipe away all emotions between you and the other parent and just focus strictly on the child's needs and the care and overall health of the child so this can work.
Yeah. And gotta remind you that I'm not a professional, so you need to talk to a professional. Mm-hmm. This is not a substitute for professional advice, but it is advice that we can all use. I'm not trying to, you know, step in. Okay.
We have an in-person studio coming
we have
in.
Live audience. We got people coming in, so they can have a seat over there in that area. I should turn the chair around. Well, we have the TV. I'll have to turn that around for them. Hello to everybody on Instagram out here. We're broadcasting on 9 platforms today. Eight platforms today. Instagram, Facebook pages, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube's. So make sure you watch the Comfort Level Podcast, WCMD Media, on any social media outlet that you can get wherever you listen to podcasts. So, like I said, talk to a professional. This is not a substitute for the advice of a qualified expert. Here we talk about different things um, as we see that will benefit us as well as the community here in Camden County and anyone within the sound of our voice or our podcast on our media stations. Yes. So, yeah, let's just come here. I'm gonna switch it around so that she can so anyway, pardon me, give me 1 second. It's okay. This is
Yes.
yes. So we're gonna I can turn the Instagram around this way. If I figure it out.
Yep.
And there will be on there. Huh? No, that's cool. That's cool beans. There we go. Cool beans, right? How are you?
Good, how are
Welcome
you?
to the Comfort Level Podcast. Also got some drinks and some little snacks over there if you want some.
And we just was getting into the part talking about co-parenting and how from the beginning, parents in the Latin root word is pair meaning two. And it took two to make a child, and it should take two to raise a child. So that's where we basically are trying to get the people to understand that, it is, we have to take our focus off of the other parent and focus on the child so we can be able to raise up a healthy child. Not saying that a child can't be raised healthy with one adult, but they have a better chance at it with the two parents. And sometimes one parent might step in and that might not have been what the child wanted from the beginning and still have their differences. So we're talking about co-parenting this week. Next week we'll talk about single parenting, but what it takes to co-parent. And the first thing I say is take your focus on what happened with your relationship and focus strictly on the child. Whether it was consensual or a one-night affair or that was your booze baby or you was married and had a baby, it still takes co-parenting to raise a child.
That's right.
And it takes a maturity level that says this is not about us, this is about the child.
So you gotta know that your child is worth it. It's worth you trying. It's worth all the effort that you put in to, making your child happy, not to go through these different things. You may have went through some things yourself. Think about those, or think about those that have went through some things. Trying to just, it pays off later on.
It does. It really does.
Yeah.
I grew up in the two-parent household, and my biological father was always incarcerated. So I had a great opportunity in life, I say, because of my father that stepped up and took that role and gave us a co-parenting household, because my father really was, I want to say, is responsible for opening up a lot of gifts. And the reason why I'm called Mogul Queen today, because of his wanting to see a child grow up healthy and grow up happy. He thought in his mind, he still believes every child is innocent and they should be exploited to happiness and love and acceptance, no matter who it is that's raising them. So my dad met a lady that she saw walking down the street with 5 children. He didn't even know if they was her children or not. He just saw children and gave her a ride. Well, the lady just so happened to have a dancing group, and was a coach for pageantry. So he gave her a free ride, and so what she did in return was gave him 2 months free of lessons to basically teach his daughters, because he told her he had daughters, and she said bring them in.
Nice.
And that was the beginning of me becoming a Mogul Queen, because I ended up becoming Camden County 2000 by just that one incident of parents knowing that this is about the child. If my dad had took his hand off of me because I wasn't his biological daughter, who's to say who I would have been today? So co-parenting is really one of those situations that is really vital. It's really needed.
It's really needed because you have bitter baby moms that
You want to come over here, or you want to stay over?
Right.
Okay. Come on.
That's fine.
You have bitter baby moms that that don't allow their
That's
kids
where I was going.
or
Yes.
communicate with
They're
with
bitter.
the other parent, and this is something that I have experienced personally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like I tell my husband, I'm like, I have a wonderful relationship with your other son. I just wish I had the opportunity to do it with your other two children, but their mom is just like so negative. I
Now
just
see,
choose
she's
not
on the other side of the track.
Yes.
She's not even the parents, and she wants to
She
co-parent.
wants to control
And
the
then
situation.
this mother
you
is
trying to
like,
co-parent, and she's trying to
yeah,
control the situation. Use control of her, basically, of her birthrights, her mother birthrights to the child. But
now it has to be. You have to
take your mind off of that. Yeah.
Yeah,
you have to
you have to be positive
compromise.
and yes, and compromise, because at the end of the day it's about the kids. It's not about the adults, it's not about the issues, it's about the kids.
Mhm.
And when they get older, they're gonna be like, damn, why my dad wasn't there. And that's something that their mom need to respond to, instead of putting negative input into their mind.
But they don't. And then you got the fathers that do the same exact thing.
Mhm.
They're not thinking about the kids when it comes down to it. They're just thinking about themselves. You know what I mean? I was a single mother too, not always, but for most of the time.
Mhm.
I guess I'm still a single mother. They're still my
Right,
kids,
right.
right?
Right. Once
So-
you're a mother,
They
there's
still
no
my
way.
So my
They still
question,
my kids.
is like, I want to know, like, I reached out to my daughter's father, and he still refuses to reach out to my child,
Mm-hmm.
and I wonder why.
Because he probably got some chick over there telling him he been not going to see them and stuff because she thinks if you see the kid, you might take something away from her, or he might see you or something like that. She's one of them bitter ones.
Mm-hmm. It can go like that too,
It
who
ain't
you
just how
partner
old is
with.
she?
It holds a lot of weight on you
How old
as
is
a person.
She's out of diapers?
She's 16.
See? Now, why wouldn't he want to see it?
Like after
Like
16,
you don't have to do but so
like
much.
after 16 years, I went, to the house and try to make amends. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And they swapped numbers, but he never reached out. And it's like, I don't want
hate
to.
tell you, that's the type
Like,
of
I don't want to get involved. I don't want to
person
send
he
him a
just
text.
is.
I don't want to, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to do any of that. So it's just like, how do you?
It's over for you to do it
Mm-hmm.
because she's 16 and we'll just have to wait for when she feels, if and when she feels as though she want to be involved with her father.
Mm-hmm.
She says that she really doesn't want to anymore because she has my husband.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And they have a great relationship.
As long as she knows you tried.
Yeah, it's like
You know
well,
what I
like
mean?
for me from the inside, just being in that mix of that, that 3-parent household, you can say, of absent parent. When I finally talked to my biological father, I always ask him, like, why didn't you come for me? Like, why didn't you come see me? Even when you came out of jail, you didn't still come looking for me. And you know what he said? Because of his history of his life, it was better to leave me in a household that was stable than him coming in and making it unstable for a moment of just trying to act like he was going to be my father forever. And he wasn't. He admitted he wasn't, because he was more addicted to the lifestyle he had. It was the life that he wanted. He loved that lifestyle. And he said him just coming in and acting like he was going to be there was going to basically be a lie to me. So he said, why take that away from you when I was out on the outside looking in and I saw you loved and I saw you healthy and I saw you moving forward? and you were looking like nothing was bothering you, so it was no reason for me to step in. And I'm like, it was, you were my father, you're my biological father. Like, how am I supposed to know, who I am completely without knowing you? And and he was like, well, that's just the way that I looked at it. And I mean, a lot of it was true. My dad did keep us together, in a family style household. It was stable. It was healthy environment, for the most part. My mom was the wild one. My dad was the stable one. So, on my dad's side, we were stable. On my mom's side, we were party animals. But overall, we were, safe there. And that's what he said. Like, why come in and interrupt that? What would have been the benefit of him interrupting that?
I mean, at least you got a better answer than I did.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think he always knew that one of us was gonna ask him that question. So let him prepare himself for it. And I was the one that basically really took time out, because when my mom passed away, I really was, I got one more parent here on earth, like a biological parent. And I took the time out, went to his house, he let me come in, and I said, we're gonna square this away. I want to hear your side of the story. I don't care how old I am. I want to hear this side of the story. I feel like my mom told me her side, and that was all good. But now I want to hear your side, and that's what he told me, And I couldn't even be mad at him, because he stood up as a man and told me the truth.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
But I told him, like, no, like, I needed you. I did need you. No matter what, it was going to be better to have two fathers than one father.
Yeah.
So you thought.
Right.
You ain't deal with none of the mess that he was talking
right.
about.
And so, he had real bad addictions. He had really bad street life. He was always getting locked up. He was just, oh man, all the way out of control. So, but I still wanted to have some answers, and I got closure on that. It wasn't what I wanted, but I got closure on it, and I could understand that. I mean, at least could say to myself, I was blessed to at least have a stepfather that stood there and still here. I'm literally at an adult age, and he is still there being a grandfather to all my children presently. And my father still hasn't came around. So co-parenting is definitely one of those things that if you are coming in to be a step parent, please come into knowing that the woman has children, and make it stable. Yes, make it stable. Come with love. Come with acceptance.
Just as much as you're there to provide whatever you bring in to the table for the woman.
Mm-hmm.
Like we always said, it's a package deal.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're a woman, I'm gonna put it this way, not just the dating thing, but the shacking up, the living together, the getting married, all from there all the way, you're accepting these children along with this woman, and they have needs, and your job is to have a healthy relationship with the woman, and a healthy relationship with the children.
Right. No matter overall,
I feel
represents a man.
Yeah, I feel like
as a man.
I feel as though like my father was a coward and still is unto this day. You know what I mean? Like I sat him down and I have asked him questions, and he could never give me a direct answer.
So
and I think that hurts me more, than for him to say, just tell me the truth. Like
our father did.
Yeah, and to this day, he won't admit nothing.
Some men, I would say, won't have no excuse. They, and on top of that, it was because they wasn't.
But
they wasn't taught to love in the first place. So that the relationship was never based on love. It was just based on a sexual place. That's it. And that's the hard part, because a lot of people shack up on a sexual place instead of having a relationship. And then when a child is born, they want to flee, run away, and not come around.
In your younger days, you know what I mean? The things that some people have done, created children and stuff, and done not look. I mean, you got famous people that got a whole slew of kids and stuff like
Yep.
that from state to state. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And they don't look back. They just they pay child support
Yeah.
and don't even look back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's more than that. Co-parenting is definitely more than that.
And it's stuff
And at
hurts the
least be
kids.
knowing that this person is one day going to be an adult. You still going to have to face the consequences of your actions, no matter what.
Yeah.
You
they
know,
gonna face shit.
and I always say that a lot of people that grow up with parents like that grow up to be great human beings, and that is the breaking of that generation. You know,
Yeah,
because
they
we have to
do.
be better than our parents. We want to be better than our
They-
parents.
Too, if they have one strong parent,
Mhm.
because children need rules.
Right.
They have to grow up with rules and
Mhm.
discipline. I'm not saying now we can't sit up here on the podcast and say, you know, knock the child out, beat him or whatever. You know, we can't say beat your child,
Right.
but the child needs discipline. You know, we're not trying to confuse nothing.
Yeah, it's hard when you don't get no answers. Certain situations. I waited 30 something years for an answer. You know, I grew up with knowing that I had twin sisters from my father's side, and I didn't know them until I was an adult. I was on my fourth child when I met them. Like,
Oh,
you know, so then we had to build kind of a relationship as adults. You know, that's crazy that we had to build a relationship as adults when my mother had an open door policy. She never let my father's side of the family not come to our house to see me.
you know
Like if my
what?
uncles came over, they could see me. And when my grandma wanted to see me, she'll let them see me. It was everybody from the household except him.
Yeah, like I have 8 siblings, and
Wow.
I didn't know that I had other 6 siblings.
Wow.
Okay, until
Wow.
I was 21 years old.
Mm.
Okay, and the reason how I found out it was because my oldest sister came looking for us,
Oh,
for
okay.
me and my
Yeah.
little sister.
Somebody look for you.
And my dad has like all these family members, and I don't know any of them.
Mm.
Mm. Well,
And seeing
you know what?
that puts a dent on the bloodline, you know, on that lineage. How are you supposed to know? Like, how are you supposed to know that you could be looking right at your sibling,
Yes,
you're right at your grandmother, your uncle, you can look at anybody
Yes,
and just.
I've known it happen. I've known it happen.
And living in the same city.
Well, it happened, right? It happened to me. I would get on the bus and the lady was like, "Wasn't you just on here not too long ago?" I'm like, "No, ma'am. Like, I wasn't just on." So when I was younger, she's like, "Girl, somebody just came. You must got a twin." That's what she
They
said.
say that to me.
You
all
must
the
got a
time.
twin, and I used to laugh. I
Like,
said, "Well, maybe
I
my
don't
twin
never say
sisters
that.
look like me." Until we met, we looked like triplets. We
We're
all
gonna put
three
this
look
on the
alike.
table right now. We're gonna
So-
put this on the table right now.
Uh-huh.
None of these parenting skills that we're talking about that we have gained over the years that we use or anything that happens between the co-parents is not the child's fault.
Mm-hmm.
The child is not responsible for how a parent parents.
Let's go to number one. Rules as a co-parent. Know that you have a child.
Know that you have a
No,
child.
that-
Acknowledgement.
Yeah, acknowledge. Number two, respect the time in that present place. Respect it.
Mhm.
Take your eyes and your ears off of the mother and focus strictly on the child. That's number two.
Mhm.
Let's go to respect. Number three, bring wisdom to your child. You know, bring that understanding that this is a child that is going to grow up one day to be an adult. Do not bring no negativity into that child's life. Bring
Now,
positivity.
don't come over there and say, "Why he got that shirt on?"
Right, or
what I mean?
or
And stuff
anything.
like that. Just say, do you have a change of clothes?
And five,
Take with me.
any
Sweep
responsibility.
him off when you get him down the street.
Five, I'll say any
Gotta
responsibility
think
you
about
can take off of the mother
This
and
boy.
split. That's greatly appreciated because there's not one person in the parenting is not one that should do more than the other. It's a parenting, it's a pair. It's split equally.
Yes.
One shouldn't be responsible more than the other. So whatever you can take off of the mother, because mothers, us mothers, especially the involved mothers, we're not thinking about what you could possibly be doing. We're doing everything we need to be doing. So
what I do in
just
my
take
house
something.
may not be what you do in your house.
Right, and that's fine
okay?
too. Just keep it
So-
over there.
So yeah, keep that stuff over there. We keep our stuff over here. But the child knows to what
Mhm.
extent and what things that they can do at each of the parents' house,
Mhm.
you know, and they also know what they can do or say when the parents come together to meet to, you know, share this child.
Yes, and also too, I'll say, you know, if it becomes a problem with trying to find co-parenting or trying to get to that level of co-parenting, then don't go ahead and bash the mother for that. Just go ahead and just handle stuff legally, because what you're doing is just creating that barrier, that wall barrier that you don't need when you come to your child. Just go ahead. I just say, man, woman, just cut that out and just go. That's why it's legal
They
stuff
also
in
have-
there.
Yeah, legally,
It's legal system.
they
It's
have-
a legal system.
But the legal system is not always the answer, you know.
It's
You
not,
can
but
always
it's some
say-
ways you got to go
you know,
there.
because most of the time people use their relatives as mediators and
Mhm.
stuff like that. You
Mhm.
know what I mean?
And I don't
I'm
think
really
they should.
trying to talk about parenting
In the
as
household.
a team,
Right,
as a team.
right,
In
right.
and out the household. Don't
Right,
have to be together,
exactly.
just staying as a team. You know what I mean?
And that's what it should be about. You know, I mean, I raised my son, my third oldest son, until he was 13. He wanted to go with his father. Pack your stuff up and go. You know, like
It ain't that
pack
easy.
your stuff. It ain't that
Yeah.
easy, but at the end of the day, I feel like he wanted to go with his father to his father's house. It
Yeah.
didn't take the responsibility off of me, and it didn't make me, you know, not being in his life. We still co-parenting, but that was the part of co-parent that comes with co-parenting. Sometimes the
Yeah,
children
who's
want
to
to
say you have to
primarily
keep
go
them?
with their father, but still
Right.
want the mother
Who's to say
involved
you
too.
have to keep them?
Right. So, you know, he wanted to go with his father. His father said he wanted him. Okay, well then now we're gonna co-parent. I still take him to his doctor's appointments. I still make sure that he's healthy and fine. If he wants to escape his dad's house for a little bit, want to come over here on this side, I go get him. If he need money, cash app him. You know, it works.
It works. That's a
And
team.
honestly, I mean,
That's
because
the
he's
thing.
that age, I don't even talk to his father. And if his father like at the beginning, his father needed some things from me, gave it to him. That was it. You
That's
know,
right.
it was nothing bitter about it. I didn't feel no type of way that he wanted to go with his father. That's his father.
Mhm.
Like
That's the way it's
sometimes
supposed to
women feel so mad that they won't go with their father that it brings that kind of like that anger in the household. But I'm like, I can't be mad. This is his father.
So y'all had a plan.
We didn't have a plan. We
was a
just
plan.
we just was
Well,
like,
it's
okay.
the way
Well,
you
it
work
started
the
to be a
plan.
plan. It came into a plan. Yeah. I'm like, look, he want to go with you. What do you want to do? If he would have said no, that's fine by me. He already was over here. His primary residence was at my house.
Yeah.
But he said, bring him. Okay. You know, and that's how it is. And that's how it's been now for a year.
Right.
Okay. Amen.
And people be like, oh my God, how can you have let him go? I'm like, he's 13. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I done hugged him, hold him, changed every diaper, fed him every bottle.
Yeah.
What more?
See,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, see, now I didn't have that problem with my ex-husband, nor his ex-wife or anything or whatever. We just ran the kids over there. Come on in, you want something to eat? What you got?
And more so
We
came
didn't
from my
have a problem.
older two sons.
We
My
never had a
older two
problem.
sons' father did not want to co-parent with me. He didn't want to co-parent with me from a different household. He wanted to only co-parent with me in the same household. He wanted to be with me. So because he couldn't be with me, he decided he didn't want to be a parent at all. So
See,
when I
that's
got with
not
my
right.
ex-husband and we had a great relationship, when my son decided, you know, by him that he wanted to go with him, hey, this is what I wanted from my oldest two kids there. You know, I wanted him to have that relationship, go with him for the weekend or go with the weekend, come with me for the weekend, you know, things like that. He became bitter so fast that it was hard to co-parent.
Mm.
It was hard to co-parent, you know, and even when I did go knocking later on, like,
Why was
you know
he
what, I'm gonna
bitter?
go ahead. and not keep on holding. I didn't have nothing to hold against him, but I just thought he wouldn't hold nothing against me. After so many years, let me knock on the door and let me see if
Right.
if he'll decide to co-parent with me now. Like he might be over the situation, and he still wasn't over the situation.
So do you think the kids like so the children are adults now? Do you still, and maybe if they still don't have, like you said, 16 years old, still don't have a relationship with your father or mother, do you think that
You grow up with absence. You grow up with something's missing. You're gonna have that feeling of something is missing. Like my children are now adults. My two older sons, they feel like something is missing. You know, like their grandmother passed away a few weeks ago. My son was like, "Well, I don't even know how to feel. I don't know her."
mm,
Mhm. That's
Yeah, no, I
exactly
had that,
what
He said, "If my father walked past me right now, I wouldn't even know that was him."
my other daughter, she's
How? That comes with co-parenting too, showing them their family side. You know, like, geez, you can't be
I think
responsible
some
for
of them do
everything.
sometimes. Once they see them, they're like, okay, I saw them. And then they go on. That's the way my daughter rolls. She's like, okay,
Yeah.
okay, they're my people, then okay.
Mhm.
It's the ones that want to be involved with her, they be involved with her. The ones that don't want to be involved with her, don't want to be involved with her,
Mhm.
and don't make the effort to be involved with her. That would be her father.
Right. So co-parenting will open up that co-family, that other side of that family. Without that co-parenting, it's hard to even get that other family to
But
be
she had a
involved.
father.
But it's rare that you see
Mhm.
that now. It's very rare
Mhm.
because a lot of people be like, okay, well, how about it? You don't want to be part? Okay, fine. I'll just, keep it pushing.
Mhm.
So it's like, how can the people really change?
They gotta want to.
Mhm.
You gotta really
Want
want
better.
to. You got want better. You gotta think about the kids first, and just put aside what I feel about you and how we didn't make it, it didn't get along or whatever. Look at that. We made a beautiful person together. A beautiful person together. You know what I mean? And that's all we have to say is we made a beautiful person together, and we got to make sure that this person survives. And be an asset, like or something in the world, not just be here and don't want to be a menace to society or something like that, or we don't want to be pipeline them to prison
Mhm.
or kill them.
Right. What comes out of the other side of the absent father and mother not co-parenting?
Yeah, psychological.
Yes, psychological trauma,
all
physical
kinds of
traits, because they start to show physical traits of how they walk, how they talk,
stuff.
how they
what
move,
happens
how
to
they
their
respond to
children.
life. It makes up, like for it. So it's kind of like we need two-parent households.
Let me tell you something.
I spent a great deal of
So,
time,
I'm
probably
not-
like an hour. I mean, like no, like a year ago. Spent a great deal of time just talking to men and bringing them back to the household. Like, look, you need to go home, or you need to fix yourself and get a job so you go get your children. Like, if that's all you want is a job to go get your, I'll help you find a job to go get your child. You know what I'm saying? To go spend that time with that child.
I heard
And it
a few
worked.
men say that. I heard a few men say that. But you know what? If you are out there and you're one of the men that need to get your kids back
Mm-hmm.
or spend time, not even just the men, women, a parent, period. If you need to get your kids back, you need to do the right thing, and you need to do the things that you need to be doing, because let me tell you something, the legal system will take away your rights,
Mm-hmm.
and then you won't be able to.
Yep. I mean, and then some women they abandon
won't
the
be
child
able
once
to
the
see
father
your
not in the
kids.
household. So both parents are gone,
Yeah.
and just raised by the streets. And that's a lot going on here in Camden. Like mothers start to become so numb, and they're given so many opportunities to become numb now. Or their rights is always going to be there, no matter how bad they struggling. So they leave them and then they come back. They leave them and then they come back. And it's and then a lot of men grow up without even knowing how to be loved by a mother, or accepted by a father. So the co-parenting wasn't there from either part.
Nope.
And then we have men that's struggling to try to figure out how they supposed to be in life. They only know what the streets taught them, and then they want to clean up their life, and then they
This is
can't.
what I'm going to teach
So it's a hard thing.
This is what I'm going to teach you, okay? So this is the plan, okay?
Yeah, let's go into the book real fast.
Yeah, the book says that a clear plan can help. Your family will run more smoothly if you know what's expected, okay? If you know that you're going to go over there and she going to be hostile or he going to be hostile, you need to check your attitude at the door before you get there, okay? Check yours, okay? You got to bow down, okay? The book don't say that, but I'm telling you. She's looking at it like, where's it say bow down, right? We got some notes here with tea with, but you got to bow down and come up with a strategy so you don't show this stuff. Put up a nice forefront in front of the children,
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to come to agreements with each other that, if the mom say, okay, you're bringing him back at 4:30 and we're having dinner at 5:30, please do not take him to eat ice cream at 3:15. You know what I mean?
That's gonna mess up your chances of getting comparison.
It is.
It's
rules to it.
It is.
You just have to say, you have to say no to the child, and you have to say, here's $3. When Miss Salty come through tonight, you got but you gotta eat dinner first.
That's just like my situation. My son, he's he's good at basketball and football. So, my son's father, he tells me, he's good at football, and I'm like, he's good at basketball. He's good at both. So I signed him up for basketball camp. I felt like, wanted to put him in basketball. When his dad went behind my back and put him in football. So now
I ain't thinking about neither one of y'all, because when did they ask the kid? Did they ask the child?
So I asked
What
him.
did he want?
I asked him at first. I asked him, but his dad did not ask. I did. I said, you know what? You want to go to basketball? It's a basketball camp. They got scholarships going on. I'm gonna sign you up. He says, yeah, because he loves basketball. He loves them both greatly. But so then now I talk to the father, co-parenting, like, look, I'm picking him up. The camp is for 10 days. He's just going to stay down here at my house. I'm going to be taking him to and from, so we won't have to worry about it. You bringing him back and forth and gas or whatever, whatnot. He's like, okay. And then next thing you know, he says, I'm going to go pick him up. He said, oh, I can't go. Dad signed me up for football. I said, what? No, he did not. But then now I had to make that decision. Do I want to get hostile or I want to back down, as a parent? And I back down. I back down as a parent because guess what? At the end of the day, I felt like, he was happy with his father and his father made a decision, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to go ahead and battle his father over if he going to basketball, he's going to go to football. The whole point was to keep him active and let him do something that was going to make him happy. So I had to chuck up my feelings and not show no feelings and do what you said and just bow down. I had to go ahead and just do what I had to do. So I won't be mad, and we could still go co-parenting, and we ain't got to worry about none of that. I really ain't lose out because it was a scholarship. I'd rather him just spoke to me from the very beginning and said, yeah, it's like, okay, I want to sign him up for football. Don't sign him up for basketball. But it's one of those situations that I really want to knock down the door and wave it for force. But I was like, you know what? Okay, here goes the co-parenting part. Let me just. So what I did was I rallied up all the kids from out the hood and took them down there, and we all was on the sideline at the football game. Dad was in the corner hiding out because he saw that I was present there. We all from the side like, ah! So, we still dominated over there. He was like looking at me like she's a mess. But I still won. As a co-parent.
For those of you
It's
just
easy
joined the
ways to
show,
go ahead and win and not look so shady, but I had to get that in. But co-parenting still work.
We've been talking about co-parenting. You know, whether you're together or apart
Yes.
with the other parent. You know, we want to welcome Fred to the podcast.
Yes.
What's up, Fred? How you doing?
How y'all doing?
This is
Ladies.
Mogul Queen.
Yes.
Mogul Queen, tell them a little bit about what you do.
Oh man. All the way around, just public speaker, nonprofit organizer, have a nonprofit named Rare Jewel Nonprofit Organization here in the city of Camden. I also have an MQ consultant agency where we advocate for special needs children and children with mental impairment in the school system and in the juvenile justice system. Also, just taking in everyday topics with trauma and mental impairment, seminars, and
Just keep it popping.
just keep it all the way around
Keep
moving.
it popping. Just
And co-host from time to time with Janie Smanny on the Comfort Level podcast. It's one of my favorite things to do.
Wow, thank you, thank you.
Got a long voice.
Yeah.
Well, I just kept this short, but it's long. Thank you so much.
So we were just saying that co-parenting is teamwork. You
Yes.
know what I mean?
Yes.
And stuff. You know, just
Went over
basically,
some
that's
rules, and we
basic.
felt like the first thing the rule was just the first rule was acceptance, like accept that you're gonna have to co-parent with this other parent, the other parent. And the second rule was put some respect in between y'all, knowing that the child is looking up to both of y'all co-parents and noticing that y'all still there no matter if y'all together or not. So the respect boundary has to be there in place for this to work. And then number 3 was, I don't remember, but you could put in
We
number 3
started
if you
talking
felt
about,
like from a man's
discipline.
standpoint.
Well,
The discipline and the rules
Yeah.
that are different in each
that's like a
household.
man's thing, like with discipline. But I want to say this. I think it's still, it might be a final frontier, like a new concept, a foreign concept, real co-parenting.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna tell you why. I remember when I was
It
younger.
is.
So years back, I'll never forget. My daughter's 23 now, and say she was, I don't know, 4, 5, 6, right?
Mhm.
And her mother had another child, another guy, and I never forget. My mom wanted to have like a thing, and she wanted the family to come, and she wanted me to invite her. So I had to invite her, even though we wasn't together. I had to invite her, and then she had to invite her other baby's father. So we had to coalesce, and then she did the same thing to my brother.
Mhm.
He's married, and then he had to meet. Everybody had to come and have a good time, and it was like the
We do it
weirdest
every
foreign
Sunday.
concept for me. And it was like my mom first did that, and I was like, "What? You want me to do what?"
I know.
I was like, "Hold on, wait,
Did you
wait,
do
wait."
it?
Yeah, we did it, and I never forget having that conversation with my daughter's mom's other kid's father. We sat in that yard talking for about an hour or two,
Wow.
He was cool.
and we had already had disagreements like prior to that.
Mhm.
You know, that could have got a little bit hostile, but that whole thing, and then so I would say line of communication, and it's all got to be about the kids. It's all got to be about the kids.
It's
Mhm.
always
You
got to
know,
be
it
about
can't be no games. It can't be no an underlying romance going on. It's got to be about the kids, and it works.
Well, you know what? I don't even think it was about the kids that day. It was about your mom.
No, so my mom. So
Your
yeah,
mom
it
put
was.
the
Be
thing
about the
together.
kids.
Yeah, it was.
Sometimes
It was.
it's not even just about
Yeah.
the kids. It's about
So-
other family
No.
members.
It was about my mom, because my mom, she didn't like that when I made arrangements for my child, it had to be separate from her sister. She didn't like that it had to be arrangements
I
that
hated
we
that.
had to have
We all
agreements. We
hated
had to
that.
talk, and it had to be around
Yeah.
the other kid, or I couldn't talk to her while I'm with my girl, or she can't talk to me while she's with her man. My mom
But do you know
got
how
tired
the
of that,
other
and she
kids
wanted-
feel when the one kid goes off with their father
Exactly.
and they got
Nobody really
and their
wants to-
father doesn't come,
Yeah, that's
and
that's
you
the
don't
thing.
have control of that.
I was
at all.
one of those kids, so my brother would go places I couldn't go, So I know what that's like. But yeah, it's gotta
What
be
is
about
it
the
like?
kids. Yeah, so you want to go. I want to go with my brother. You know how it is. Your brother, you want out, I want to go with my brother. And it was my older brother, so it was like
disappointing,
whatever my
so-
brother did, I did. You know, you got a big brother. It's like whatever my brother do is cool. Whatever I see my brother do, I wanted to do everything.
Right,
You
right,
know, so,
right.
You know,
That's true, too.
People never really
They don't get that
comment
part.
on that when they siblings and they come from different parents. But
No,
I got
they
split
be like,
from my brother.
It ain't your dad, sit down.
I know, and that's that kind of the hardest thing to hear.
That's the worst.
That's a real
That's the
hard thing to
worst.
hear.
That's the worst.
And that's why, you know what?
My ex-husband, he never did that. I had a child that wasn't his. We weren't together, but we were still married. But when he came and got his kids, he got her too. You know what I mean? But he never tried to be a father to her. You know what I mean? My other boyfriend was a father to her, but wasn't a father. He was a father to her. So
Father figure.
yeah.
We need that.
I mean, if you're not their biological father, and that she has other children, just be a mentor. You know, be that a responsible man mentor. Like just showing that mentor guidance. Like, okay, clearly the other parent is
Mentorship
absent.
is huge. It
Yeah.
makes a big difference.
So
It
just
made a
look at
difference
it.
in my life.
Mhm.
I mean, it's a real difference in my life. Big, huge difference. And
So I mean, that's what I look at it.
I was lucky enough to have a male figure, but I still had a mentor too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because when my male figure is busy paying the bills,
Mm-hmm.
so he couldn't be the involved and active father I needed at the time. So I had a mentor.
Mm-hmm.
That took
I
a
understand.
And sometimes, you know, we need mentors because of the certain lanes that we go in. Our parents don't know that lane. You know, like my mother, she could never navigate me where I was going at. She only knew to just step back and just listen to what I needed and just gave me what I needed to keep on moving forward. But she didn't know.
Ask you a question.
So, you know.
Another question too, or a statement. A parent that's not involved with their child, like say as of now, like how is it to start the process of trying to communicate with these children? You know what I mean? How do you get there? What is the
I
first
say
step?
accept is just let them express themselves. I say. Because you know it's going to come with some type of expression. These children are going to say something.
No, I'm saying they have a parent that you can't penetrate, that is hard to penetrate.
Well, the only thing that can work is routine. If ain't no routine, ain't no consistency, then it would just be like, I know of that guy, but I don't know. Or I know of that girl, and I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that becomes a part of their character. So it's like you got to be there. People don't realize how important it is to be there and how impactful it is for a kid to have you there and support you and doing all these things. You know.
Mm-hmm.
They don't.
Even if it's just like you have to fit it in as a schedule, even if it's a phone call or a visit, you have to start there at the minimum is starting there.
They sit here and they say, "Oh, it takes a village to raise a kid," but you won't let the kid say they name out.
Yeah, I mean it does take a village, but you know other parents say too, like the mom ain't no good for them, or the dad ain't no good.
And they have step brothers and sisters and stuff like that. These kids don't feel like we feel.
Well,
you know what I mean? That's like, my brother.
We speak on both sides of our tongues because we say, you know, we'll say it takes a village when we say no new friends and I ain't mess with nobody and all this, that, and the third. It's weird. Like, hold on. So we take a village or
it took a village back in the day. It don't take a village no more because the village left.
Well,
yeah. The village left.
Yeah, well, that's the reason why we're at the socioeconomic
now. Because I mean, now they like, all right, we can't get in the household and tell you what to do. The village used to really tell the parents how to raise the child. Now that they push the village away, now the village like, oh, that ain't how you supposed to raise a child.
No, that's just our village. Now, I'll say this. That's our village. Let me tell you something. The Israelis, the Arabs, the Spanish, the Latins, the Europeans, everybody else all function as a village. We're the only ones that don't quite get the village concept. And that's why we all struggle, and that's why we all broke. That's why we can't ever work together. All right, you know, when that changes, then other things will change. But yeah, we're the only ones that ain't figure out the village. So we start trying to we love individualism. That's what we are. We're individuals. That's what we are.
Right.
Until we figure out how to not be individuals.
We're never gonna have
and
what
figure
we
out how to move
call-
like a collective, then our consciousness will change. Until then, everybody will probably still be individuals, and I think that's.
I mean, because listen,
There's no unity.
my mom,
Yeah.
she was more than like a co-parenter. She was like the village mother. You came in to 230 South 27th Street, you had to abide by those rules.
Yeah.
If you messed up,
That's
you're
the way it
going to
was.
get it, just like her child was going to get it.
My mom was
She
like,
tell the parent the rules. Listen, in this house, this is what we're going to do. Your child don't listen, your child's going to get it. I don't want to hear nothing.
Yeah.
Them parents left them
Yeah.
children there for one because they knew it was under love. Like my mom wasn't going to do it just to be, ignorant or blatantly just abusive. And my mom didn't hit kids, but she just was good. Like if they get on my last nerve,
boundaries.
the very last nerve is over. They gonna get it. But my mom had a routine. You're gonna get up, you're gonna go ahead and get some breakfast, you're gonna clean, we're gonna dance. My mom used to try to teach us how to perform. That's what she wanted us to perform for her. So she used to have teachers dances, wanted us to learn dances so we could perform. My mom loved to be entertained. So she did that with all the kids. The boys too. They had to learn how to b-boy dance and all that. You gonna dance too. And then, after that, she had the backyard already set up, swing set pools, everything. We go out in the backyard.
She was building
Don't-
character.
Bother her now. This the time that she gonna have her time to herself. Don't you come in that room knocking on that door. She don't care what's going on. Don't come knocking on that door till she came out the room. Nobody bothered her. People used to always say how you can have so many kids in a household and not stress yourself. My mom was like, because they listening to me. like they listening to me.
It's discipline.
And now that I have 6 kids, I'm like, man, I need that book. I need the book that she had, and that was basically on parenting to co-parenting. It all comes down to basically showing the kids that you're there for them.
My parents had a scope.
Different ways
Had a
of
scope
nurturing.
on, what it is to be responsible, what it is to have accountability. And it will always seem to us like nagging, but
Yeah.
as we got older, we realized how important all those things was. That's, you couldn't tell me my house wasn't like the Third Reich. My parents wasn't Adolf Hitler. So it was like.
So it comes down to that the parents have to be, I'll say that, to end this cycle of no co-parenting or trying to get to that point of co-parenting, you really need to having co-engagement speaking with the person that you're talking to. Just in case y'all go to that next level and y'all have a child, you got to know what the other parent is going to be willing to do. People don't figure it out until it's too late. Until the woman is pregnant and then the man say, let me run real fast before she even get a hold of my name and figure out who I am and then go ahead and not be the father.
Usually you're in agreement, we want to have 10 kids until.
Nah, they don't go that far. They ain't intending saying it.
And then you break up.
That's some poor
And
guys.
then you can't agree on anything.
They ain't even talking about children. They talking about how good each other look. And when it's time, it's time. They ain't never talked about how many kids they was gonna have.
That's what I'm saying.
They ain't never talked about that. They didn't even think they was gonna have a child.
Or that we live in
If you
America,
did plan it.
and you gotta have about 6 figures in order to be able to take care of some kids. If not, you gotta go down to the building, get welfare, food stamps, and all that crap.
Right.
You know what I mean? Nobody talks about that because once you get in that zone, then you've started the marginalization line. You know what I mean? It's like.
And
It's
that's
just weird.
why
And it's only there for us. It's like only we do it.
that's why most of the single parents are disgruntled because the mothers or the fathers, whoever the parent, the custodial parent has to seek services from the government. So they get the food stamps, the Medicaid and stuff or whatever. And then the other absent parent is responsible to pay child support, and sometimes they had to become poor. You know what I mean? And
but it still
that's
doesn't make
why-
up for co-parenting though.
it doesn't, but that's why he's mad or she's mad.
That's not co-parenting.
You know what I mean?
That's the financial part of it
No,
all.
That's what we're saying.
But that'd be the first
And
thing to
have we
separate the parents
discussed
from
how
being
we're gonna take
co-parents.
care of
That's allowing the system to allow that your child's father to be sucked dry by the system. That's creating financial hardship on the father of your kid. That makes it.
I feel like it was
that
financial
harder for
hardship
you.
from the beginning, because if a father
Because
was
listen-
financially stable, they wouldn't even had to be put on child support, if the
That's
father
right.
was going to give up some money anyway.
In some cases, so I'll talk about my case. In my case, my daughter had $1,000 wardrobe. I was the guy that was listening to Biggie, had 5 carats in my daughter's ear.
Mhm.
My daughter's wearing Coogee outfits as a little kid, talking about the little $200 or $300 outfits.
Mhm.
All right, so that's where I was, and it didn't stop her mom from putting me on child support the moment we separated, when we broke up.
Of course it did.
So it didn't matter what my daughter's wardrobe
Uh-huh.
was, and that child support caused a strain, and not only my ability to be able to sustain myself, but also maintain my daughter's lifestyle.
Mhm.
So that's what that caused. It didn't help me. It didn't make my job easier. It
Right,
made
right.
your job easier.
Right.
It made your job harder, and it made my job harder. So who won? Nobody wins.
Nobody
The government.
wins.
The government wins.
Right.
So how does that help? No, that doesn't help at all.
So you have to have, that's why I say it has to start with the second one, that responsibility, and that, that knowing the responsibility. Because when me and my ex-husband decided we was going to separate, we went downtown and got legal custody of our children. And the judge said, what about the financial part? And I said, we're going to take care of it on our own, Judge. You know what I'm saying? But that comes with being mature and knowing that these are our children, and knowing the other person, the person you had a child with. All of that came in. We're going to keep them out of our relationship. Whether he gave it to me or not, I just kept them out
Y'all
of
was
it.
smart. Y'all was smart. That judge.
Only because I just knew that he had
in that system so he can get some of that money.
Right. I mean, because it just comes as a routine, Mother, what do you want? You want child support?
Hold on, wait. Judge, what do you mean? I'm sorry, Your Honor.
And
what
then
do you mean if I didn't hold it?
He said that was the easiest
live in
case
America,
he had
Your
all
Honor.
week. And
Oh,
I was
okay.
like, because we
Oh.
already knew what we wanted. We went in there knowing that it was only about the children. It wasn't about us anymore.
Yeah, so
And
that's the
is
big thing.
the main thing.
Strictly
You
the kids.
gotta keep this parenting team about the children. It's not about you. The kids suffering. You know what I mean? And the kids gotta also, when you said stuff, like you don't want the kids coming. Well, when I'm at dad's house, or when I'm dad, or dad this and dad this, and you don't allow the kids to play one against the other.
I mean, if the dad is present, Mom, at the end of the day, you still gotta take care of your responsibility. So like,
I ain't saying that.
you don't got, just talk to the father and see what can he come up with.
Yeah.
What can he do?
That's what I'm saying.
If he can't pay the child support or pay financially, well then you watch him while I go to work. You be the babysitter while I go to work.
Yeah.
And if you're not in agreement with none of that stuff that I'm trying to do, that's not going to fit in the financial thing.
That deserves to be on child support.
Let's go.
That type of guy, yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah. Take that man's check, because he's not going to do it on his own. He's not going to spend time. The least he can do is play.
And if you know that they're there, they're not there for you. They there for the child. And that's when I see a lot of moms that be like, oh, I don't understand why he couldn't just give me the money because I don't like what they bought for the child. That wasn't your money. They wanted what they want to see their child in. How about this? I always tell people, how about you just go ahead and put this, split the closet. This the dad's side, this is his side. When he go with the baby, go with the dad, put him all the stuff that the dad bought him. If it starts to wear and tear, the dad going there because this is all the clothes the dad bought. You put the stuff on the child that you want to see the child on the days the child with you. Easy. It's an easy fix, but people don't want to see this stuff their way instead of seeing it the way that's going to fit for the child.
There's been times where I had to not allow my son to take certain clothes home because his brother is just, it's just, so it's a thing when you got a kid, your mom's got other kids, and then your clothes for your kid gets parted in the brothers and sisters. We're not talking about when he grows out of it. We're talking about brand new clothes, underwear, socks,
right?
Clothes.
That come down to that
Jackie's
McDonald's
like-
situation that went viral on Facebook. Like the dad came over with the McDonald's for the one child that was his with the other kids.
And I didn't do that. Look, this is my thing. This is my
Remember the
thing.
McDonald's situation? Did you remember that a couple of months
My
ago?
son would call me.
Oh my G.
He would call me,
How would
right?
you
Right,
respond
call
to
me.
that? Would you do something like that?
So listen, my
You
son
about
would
to
do
break
that.
it down.
Let me tell you, my son would call me, and listen, my son got access. He can call me. He can call his uncle. He can call his aunt. He can call a fiance. And you say I'm hungry, and they'll just cash out money. But see what that does? It causes a problem with his brothers and sisters. So yeah, he can go and say I can get some food, right? Get some pizza or a cheesesteak and sit around his brothers and sisters and eat. Then what? So no, I ain't never do that. I would make sure if my son got something, make sure he had enough to share, or we out. We eat, and we out, and then you come back home and
I mean, that's fair.
a doggy bag or whatever, or we can come home and share with your brothers and sisters.
That's at least fair enough.
Or I make sure there's enough food in the house for all of them. Because what I'm not going to have my son do is feel weird because he got and his brothers or he got a breakdown. He can't have nothing for himself. So that's my thing. That's what I do with.
Yep.
Kids can feel like that too, slighted because, they're not getting, but then you can't allow your child out of that group of children not to have new sneakers because the sneakers got holes in them, but so does theirs. And their dads is not buying.
And then here's my thing. I deal with that now. Now, it's a thing where because the other dad is nowhere to be found, right? My son looks different from the rest of his brothers and sisters all the time. So it's like, it's got to be like where, because I dress them a certain way, I'll buy them certain clothes, and then the next week they're all wearing it. So it's like, I think in her mind is how she alleviates embarrassment of having to have one kid look better than the other. So she parts out everything. But
Which
it's
is kind of
that's
hard.
not my responsibility.
That's hard too.
Then when my son, when it's time to go out, I gotta either get new clothes or find other clothes because you never got your stuff. You never got anything. We just got new stuff came in the mail last week. And you just experienced anywhere. Why you don't have any cost? Anyway, whatever.
because
Yeah. Listen.
Dudes went to him.
Yeah, his brother got him on. His sister got him on.
Parts out.
My brother, my sister got him on.
You see, I on the other hand, I really never thought about what the father could do. That's just me personally. Like I knew I had these children. I knew they came up out of me. When the dad looked at me, look at them here, they don't really need nothing much, but he still acts like, what do they need?
Yeah, I was like that
but
too.
I'm just, I cannot. If the father is doing for the one child, just if I had it like that, like one dad was doing one thing for the child and he was looking better, that will make me want to step my game up and make sure that my other kids look good on my behalf. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't need to look like that because the father not around. They looking like that because basically nobody around. If you ask me, because all my kids came out the house looking the same. And they all ain't have the same father. Yeah. But I ain't playing them games. They all gonna come out with fresh haircuts. I learned how to cut hair. What? I used to be sharp with it. Yeah, just so all of them could come out the house having a haircut. You know what I'm saying? I'm like that. I want all my kids. When you look behind me, you see all my 6 kids, they all look good. Even the one in the wheelchair. That one, she was polished for sure.
You had what I like to call parental initiative. You knew what they needed. So you just did it. You compensated for where they fell short. So they had to go outside looking crazy next to his brothers and sisters.
Like when it come like the Christmas, it was a settled Christmas. I kept it off of the presents because on their birthdays, that was my time to shine. Let them get what, and they didn't look like they could be jealous because it was their person's birthday, their brother's birthday. Oh, he wanted a PlayStation. Okay, I gave him the PlayStation. I could afford that one child. I couldn't afford getting a PlayStation or 3 PlayStations at Christmas or getting a lot at Christmas. So I will make it about that one child. My second oldest son is the real, I want to say the bougie one. He wanted hoodies shipped from another state, from California or something like that. And I had to do expression. So I had to, put it on birthdays so I won't have to do it on Christmas. But it worked. It worked. And when my ex-husband would ask me what we was doing for our kids' birthdays, I'm like, you might look, here go the bill, $1,000. You might just give me half. Give me half of it back. And he just give me my money back. The birthday was gonna happen with or without him, but it was greatly appreciated. He gave me half of it. So I could put him in there and say he gave me half of it back. But I never move on assumption that I'm gonna wait until the father gives me half before I buy something for the child. Whether the child, I just can't. It just wasn't going to work for me like
that's
that.
Another thing.
So some people don't move unless that child support hit.
They don't understand.
Kids don't get sneakers to that child support hit. They don't get clothes to the child support hit. The rent don't get paid to that child support. A lot don't get paid.
Child support is being spent. You know what I mean? On
Never on a kid. I know. I never seen my child support check ever. And I got one everywhere. I know. So here's the thing.
He never seen it.
I like what you said about the holidays. We got to move away from consumerism. I know we planned that this year. We want to have the kids have everything they need. So on Christmas, we can just celebrate, have a good time, without having to spend a whole lot of money. We got people in January and February. Because I did the math. We spent $30 million.
Yeah.
We spent not 30. We spent $30 billion on between Christmas and Black Friday. Probably double that amount. And there's only 6 billion people on this planet, right? The population been doing
right.
There's 6 billion people on the planet. So essentially, Black Friday and Christmas, we can essentially solve world hunger for a day.
Mm-hmm.
And mind you, you're not going to need to feed 6 billion people because half of them people already got cash, right? Matter of fact, 70% of people got cash. 30% is poor. Half of them struggling, right? So you got extra 30, $60 billion. You're gonna feed people for days.
Mm-hmm.
And if we cut down the spending we do on Black Friday and Christmas, we can solve world hunger.
People are selfish.
Poverty can solve itself if we stop spending all that
exactly.
money.
People are selfish and nobody's thinking that way.
That's true.
I thought that number and I was like, hold on, wait. I think, man, I was like, hold on, 6 million people. Oh.
See, I had boys, they just wanted to eat. They just told me their favorite meal.
$6 a piece to eat. I said, yo, that's the answer right there. But you can't tell people that you can't go shopping. I know we were shopping, right?
Well, for one thing, the money won't be appropriated, right? Yeah, we have
a couple of comments.
Shout out to Mindy.
Oh yes, that's my sis,
Mindy Gustin Williams. Thank you for shouting out to us on the podcast. She's been leaving us comments.
Yep.
Michael.
People think that it's okay.
Coming all the way from the Midwest.
YC. You know what that means.
That is gonna be
You on
there.
deck. They chiming in.
Just run it in your mouth.
Oh, she just responded back.
I gotta think of it when it says yes. But Mindy says that we are using such wisdom. You know, it's not that we're wise, you know, but we're validating the things that we've been through, and validating some of the things that work and don't work.
She being modest. She being modest. We wise.
Yeah, for sure.
We wise for sure.
Yeah, we wise. We've been through some things, you know what I mean? But, you know, we just trying to build this informed parenting team, you know, keeping that communication open.
We got to start this now. Because if we start making it now, we start doing it now, 10, 20 years from now.
This is all the stuff that
I like this
saying.
right here.
I like this little guy.
It says all parents have disagreements, which is true.
Yep.
No matter what, you still gonna have like the football and the basketball thing. The disagreement, and some tips is good. Don't pull your child into your disagreements, which is true. Do not fight in front of your child, especially about parenting issues, which is a big one. People does that all the time. Come here, don't your dad do this? And did your dad do that? Did he show up? Did he not show up? Then your dad say he was gonna give you $100. Did he give you that? They do that all the time. I can't stand it. If your
It
child
sounds like-
sees or hears you disagree, make sure he or she also sees you solve the problem. That's major. I think that's definitely
They don't ever see
major.
They don't
Uh-uh.
ever see the results to see the problem being solved.
Make sure your child knows he or she isn't to blame for your conflict.
Like I said earlier,
So
the
many
child is
children
never
commit
to
suicide
blame.
over that right there. They feel like they are the burden of their parents'
And
problems,
it's not true.
and they commit suicide. Oh my God, I don't even know the rate, but this is a big one between co-parenting and failed marriages. The children automatically think in their mind, oh my God, this happened because of me. Because a lot of the disagreements happen in front of them without no solving of it.
Yeah, but they also need to communicate with the child as parents. You know what I
That's
mean?
That's the
Like,
thing. Because some parents think that kids are young and they don't need to be communicated with, right? And I've dealt with women in my past who felt like that about her kids. And she had 10, 12, you're like, yo, wait. You got to sit down and have conversations with them. Like, you really got to have, okay, whatever, lecture, whatever, right?
It's
You really
your
gotta sit down
dad.
and
I
have
used to like him. I don't
gotta
really
have a
like him no
conversation.
more. But we
Yeah,
both
see, that's-
love you. Men
Yeah,
and
that's
men
too
and him
much.
don't get along.
And I remember I heard my
but
mom.
we both
I would-
love you.
I would hear my mom say, "Don't ever talk about the mom. Don't ever do that, right?" But it made sense as I got older. Although I seem to be, have immunity against that thing she did. But anyway, I didn't do that with her. And she didn't let her do that with me when it came to the kids. So that was a good thing. And when I hear other parents do it, or when I go through it with my son's mother, and it's like, I can't have a conversation with him because you answer all his questions, you speak for him, and you want to also have,
That's the worst thing you
know,
can do.
you want to be pretentious
Worst
when I'm
thing.
just, want to have a conversation with him. So
Just to see how he's doing.
it's weird.
Just to see where his mind is at. Now, if you're speaking for him, he don't have a mind. Okay, and if he does have a mind, he's scared to use it because of you.
Mhm.
I said it. I'm sorry. I said it because I always feel strongly like that. I can't stand for nobody to tell me how I feel. I'm ready to fight.
Mhm.
I'm ready to kill you.
Yeah, it
Not
becomes-
literally, but we into something. We in a big heated argument once you done told me how I feel. So let's put that on the record right now. Don't nobody tell me how I feel. I will let you know.
Mhm.
For real, I can't stand that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't speak for nobody.
Yeah, they got to be led
Unless
and
they say
guided, not
you can speak for
coerced against their will. It's weird.
Yeah, it's pretty hard. When it comes to co-parenting, there's a whole bunch of different ways, but the one way I say is the easiest way to put it is just focus on the child. Focus on the child and just think of how would you feel if you was in the position that the child is in. A lot of us been in the position. Don't do the same thing to that child. Give your child. You should always want to give your child more than what you had. And that even when it comes to love and acceptance, that's on a hierarchy of needs. After water and housing and air is love and acceptance. Everybody wants to be loved and accepted, no matter what. And a lot of us become harsh, bitter, and things like that because we didn't get that love and acceptance. But somebody has to change it.
Some people are
Our
just
kids need more than anything.
just stink. You know what I mean? When you see the other parent trying to be in the child's life,
Mm-hmm.
you gotta open up the door. You gotta let them in, even if you say, "Okay, I'm scared," because you do this and this outside of our home. If I give you 10 minutes to stand right here by the tree, by the steps, and don't go nowhere, you have to do that. You know what I mean? To be like the first step of.
I'll say this: a lot of times, for some people, if they grew up in a household where there's only one parent, a two-parent household ain't gonna be real important. It's not gonna be a core value. It can't be a core value if you come up with a two-parent household and you think your mom did it all. then you feel like you can do the same thing. You don't.
And it's not
two-parent
fair.
household is not
and it's
necessary.
not fair because
So-
what you were able to handle as a child is not necessarily what these children coming up today can handle.
Mm-hmm. Well, right here it
You
says,
know what
pick
I
a
mean?
good
So
time to
that's not
talk.
fair for me to say, you know, my dad was out the household and I'm good. It's not fair.
Right.
Well, yeah,
Right.
well,
I hear that a lot too. That's a big one.
If we said the opposite, then there's a socioeconomic class of people that would feel highly threatened.
Yeah.
But let's stay out of that. So it's by design. We just got to figure out that hey, we're being paid, but it's not supposed to be like that. We're not supposed to.
We gotta get
supposed to
through
be like
it.
that. So
That's true. We
figure
are.
it out, hey, we're
that
being
you
played,
could
and we
feel.
need to be
You
like
need
this.
to know that you're getting played
Yeah, we
because
all realize
outside
we're
of
getting
here
played.
or outside of this environment, which is a lot of environmental poverty, is not. It is not stricken to being poor. Is environmental poverty. They keep it at a certain level of poverty in here to keep on continuing the movement that they have going on within the city limits. And a lot of us that live within the city struggle with it because we live in it. But certain places, people, and things are not stricken to it. They come in and they actually increase their level of income coming into this environmental poverty. But said so, the whole thing is just made and designed to keep the households apart because it brings in more revenue, keeping the households apart inside of this stricken city of environmental poverty. The whole thing is just to look at exactly how it is, so it could keep on bringing in the revenue. And we walk through the city streets, we will see a lot of failed co-parenting, and how does failed co-parenting look like, So that's something we can say that is no parents in the city again. Nobody is, taking responsibility for their children's actions, and their children is, manic in the street, and there's so much mental impairment. We need help, send help. But it's made like this. A lot of the requirements to get inside apartments, you can't have the father come with you, or you can't be 2-parent household, or quickly to get any kind of assistance. Do you get any financial help from the father? Oh, you don't, or you have to go get financial help. You have to go down there and sign up and put them on child support. Or the father cannot be around the child at all. That's just what it comes down to. Like, these are the rules that they put in the society that already the mother, any parent, any one of the parents, and it's not meant to be like that. So, but we talking about this so we can start modeling the behavior of how co-parenting should look. This is how co-parenting should look. We have given y'all some good pointers from in the book. We also have it coming from 3 different households growing up, even our live in person. They have spoke. We would like to get some, feedback from you as well. And, just see how we could all come together to help parents co-parent.
And like we said, it's not a substitute for professional advice.
Right. It's not a substitute for professional advice. Sometimes you got to take it to the professionals. Go get help. Seek help for yourself.
Professional advice all around. It's not even people.
Go to the professionals, I say.
So it takes for, regular people like us to talk about it.
If we can afford to go to the professionals.
Right.
Half
of us can't even afford that.
Ain't going to help you.
Exactly.
And the professionals, they want $100, $200, $300 an hour.
Right. You know what I mean? So
it's best that we just do the research, figure out how do we find virtue in you as a woman and me as a man, and how do we do the best for this kid. And the information is out there. We can do that, or we can just start cooning and just keep
grab a book and start at 1 and
right.
Go by the book. Well, the book says we should do this. Okay, well then let's try it for our daughters.
It's the best place to hide something.
You know what I mean?
So if you don't want to find information, get in there.
It's what you have to do.
Look at them books.
You don't have to do, everything, but you have to stay involved. You got to be active in your child's life. You got to listen to the child. You have to teach the child.
Active
and they have active, corrective, everything. You have to teach. You know, because that's basically what your job is. Hi, Christy. Um, absolutely, basically, what your job is you're a teacher. You become a teacher from the day your child is
Whether you
born.
like it or not.
Whether you like it or not.
Whether you like it or not, kids are always absorbing information.
Listen
Without
to
their
a live
kids'
in
ability to
person. Let's get
process
some
information
feedback
is
from the
crazy
live in
because
person.
they just process everything, even stuff that we don't think they process, and just processing it all. So there's always a teachable moment. You're learning something from everybody that comes around them too. So it's like,
Yeah.
Well, we're going to take a little chance to let the live in person thank y'all for coming in and sitting in on the Comfort Level podcast with Jenny Smanny and me, Mogul Queen. So we like to, take some more feedback from y'all. We would like to hear from y'all. How y'all feel?
Fred going legit.
Yeah, Fred going legit. He went legit
on
y'all today. He gave y'all enough to know.
Even
He was
even if you
active.
heard I wasn't. I was always.
We got to leave What's her name?
So-
to have good
Josie.
parenting,
And Josie in the building.
both of the parents got to be on the same page in order for it to work. If they're not on the same page, it's not gonna work. You know what I mean? It will never
Right.
work if they're not in the same page. So it's actually up to the parents if it's all about the child or their selfish needs and emotions or whatever they have going on.
Exactly.
And that's one of the things that that really bothers me, because it's not that hard to co-parent. It's not, and they, the kid's mother and the kid's father, they're just stuck in their own selfish ways.
It's the own selfish ways. The kids need to have a
And then they
relationship
take it out
with
on the kid by not providing, then the mom got to take them to child support, so they got to be obligated to do what they need to do as a responsible parent. And I don't think that's right either,
Or
Yeah.
they'll just cut the line of communication. To be
Completely,
spiteful.
yes, absolutely,
And listen,
yes.
I've been in a scenario, I'm fighting when my son had his own phone line on my phone plan, and you still cut the line of communication. Then I don't talk to him, and the phone company, I'm still getting a bill from the line that you're still using. So I don't know whether you change the number or whatever, but I've had that. So that happens. They just break the line of communication. And what can you really do? What can you really do about it?
It's
Now it's illegal. That is
We
illegal.
losing our rights.
That's illegal. That's just the denial of custody, interaction, and visitation is illegal. That's a felony. You can lose your kid and go to jail for that.
That's
So
true.
women out there, just be careful, because people are smartening up and parents are smartening up, and they will take you to court.
And we
All that
definitely
evidence.
gonna bring it to the table. We're gonna bring all the issues to the table. So you better be careful out there, because we're doing this in the protection of the children, the environment, the future. We got legacies to build.
Yeah, that's always a problem. The kids could be your biggest investment or your greatest despair.
Exactly.
They can make you cry. They can have you in there balling or have you in there celebrating.
But you got to remember that they are yours.
Yeah.
They are yours, and
And they make the decision on whether you're going to the nursing home or you're getting that room in their house. That part too.
That comes with it, though. It comes down to it. That's where everybody goes.
Can you say that
If you get to that age and that stage, you're definitely going to feel like you need somebody.
Listen, the work you put in, and the kids, they have humility and they pay homage. Listen, mom, dad made me a millionaire, so they get the beach house. Or you can have the moms like she was saying to me, she wanted to go to the nursing home. That's what you get. That's the alternative. So I want to be the dad where you put me in a nice crib in the back, the lake house, or the pool house. I'm not going to the nursing home.
Assisted living. See, that's it too. That gives your kids a good feeling about it. What he said is true. What he said is true, because some parents and stuff are just
They didn't think about the
put
future.
away.
Who cares? Care about tomorrow.
They don't care.
Care about tomorrow.
And then some of them just care what they can get out of it. You know what I mean? You're going away faster if you got something too.
Yep,
You know what I mean? They're gonna put you in that nursing home fast.
they sure will.
Take all your stuff.
So you know,
Especially if you got-
attack. Go on.
Especially if you got an insurance policy and they find out about it, you're done. You hear me?
Yeah.
And the nursing home gonna already know that little wink means, oh, get rid of them, good. Cause let me tell you, I'm a nurse, and these nurses ain't getting up to take care of nobody. In them nursing homes, you got 1 or 2 nurses that's actually doing their job.
As we come to the end of the podcast,
That was you.
I want to let you know one thing that you didn't think of, that if you're not parenting your children right, and you have a parent out there that wants to spend time with their child, that's child abuse. You're
Yep.
abusing your child.
Yep.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Okay, so that's what it boils
Just ain't
down to.
nobody speaking up
Child
about it.
abuse, and we're going to speak up about it right now. It's child abuse. So you got parents that want to spend time with their kids, want to make sure and ensure that their kids have a better life by being a part of it, and one parent is preventing it. It's abusive.
Accountability's coming, ladies.
That's right, and you can be
coming.
accountable in a court of law.
Information.
Yo, like it or not. Oh,
It's
we've been held
Yeah,
accountable.
I mean, you know,
We're the poster. The male is the
And
poster
sometimes,
child of
I mean,
accountability.
sometimes it's not.
We're always held accountable. Everything we do is held accountable for. Okay, everything. All right. We
Well,
don't
the
have
man
we don't
was
have a
made to be
we don't have a
accountable.
sacred masculine group that protects us behind the scenes and protects our core values and fights for we don't have that. There's feminist groups and organizations. You know,
a whole bunch of
right?
organizations.
So y'all
We
thought
don't
we were
have-
going to
we
just
don't have-
sit up there and
Isaiah
be
got
man
home.
bashing.
No. So we it's got to be fair. So
They do.
now that women make money like men, probably some of them a lot more than us, right? So let's even it. So yeah, you know, you fought for equal wages and equal rights and all that. So let's make it all even. You know, I'm accountable. You're accountable too. And then if we all evenly held accountable, our kids would be like all superstars.
Oh, somebody does something else. Just flashing through, we had some comments. Everybody was giving us some shout outs on the platforms, you know, and agreeing with some of the things that we were saying. We were shooting by so fast, we wasn't paying them no mind. But trust me, we seen all your comments, and we're also we're also putting them, letting them flash on the screen so that we know that you was there. So if you go back on the reruns, hey, my niece. So it's you know what I mean. We had a good day here.
Yeah,
Podcast.
good topic.
We
Yeah,
didn't
we
didn't
all
say
come
it.
down
Y'all know it's
to,
gonna sit
you
here and
know,
man bash, but it's not about that. It's we're bashing each other.
each other,
Yes.
yeah.
We're bashing
Yes.
each other.
Definitely each other.
That's right.
Fellas, stop cooning out there. Listen, let me tell you something. You invest in them kids, they'll have a real good future. They're gonna have a real good future. But trust me, them kids is buying their mamas and daddies cars and all kinds of stuff.
That's because we're raising
telling
them
you.
correctly.
I'm telling you what they doing.
We're raising them.
You know, I've
You know what I
been
mean?
in them circles where them people are doing it for their daddies. And you know, we got kids coming down that's planning stuff for their parents because their parents are investing in them. That's what you get. You invest in your kids. They look back and you know
The kids are playing
They
sports,
set
like
you
you
free.
said. You got your son at basketball camp and all that stuff. He could become world famous basketball. You said,
because you make an investment.
you know
Right.
what I
Making an
mean?
investment.
Yeah,
That's
I-
what
you
I'm
never
doing.
you
forget.
always have to
Right,
invest
right.
in your
Well,
kids.
my dad wanted to put me in football, but I liked the basketball. My
Yeah.
mom.
To push it forward, you know what I mean?
Well,
Just
it came down to that he's left-handed and he has good control of both of them, so he can throw the ball and then he can throw the ball like that with his left hand. So I mean, Dad won that one. That's okay though, as long as him and his dad is
Well,
good
see,
in
that's
that
the thing.
relationship.
I'm having that. See, that's a good thing because he has an advantage. He's ambidextrous, and he can throw it the right.
Right.
way. And they're looking for that because my son, he's left-handed, and the thing about it, they always make your kid right with his right hand. Always
Yeah.
make sure your kid know the right with his left, not his right.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, he does everything with the left. He can't do. He just learn with the right.
Yeah, so they keep taking the pencil out of my kid's left hand and putting it in his right hand. And what that does, writing with your left hand, encourages the creation from your creativity comes from your right hemisphere. From writing with your left hand, you exercise that part of your brain. So that's a good thing too. But yeah, my kid's like that, and he can do anything you do with his left, he can do his right, and he's been doing it so long. So that's an advantage.
That's what he said, that they just sat there and taught him how to do things with his right too. So now I was like, oh, that's a good thing. But you know, that was just one of the strong points that I had pointed out right before you had came in, that me and my son's father, we were having. I wanted to put him in basketball camp. I did enroll him in basketball camp. Then he went behind my back and enrolled him in football. And then football was starting in the middle of the week of the basketball camp. So he just decided he's not going to send him with me. He's going to keep him for football. And then it was just like, okay.
Yeah, our job is to make our kids a master of the most.
Right.
A jack of all, the master of most, not one-dimensional. Now that can be worked out because he plays football, but he's also training basketball, so that can be worked out. I know my kids, my son's mother, she's big on football, and he wants to do the football thing. I think it's, whatever his decision is, but so we're going to make that.
But see, you left it to his decision. My kid's father made it the decision that he was just gonna go straight to football and not go to my basketball camp.
Okay,
and then I find out when I was ready to go pick him up, nobody's answering the phone, and he's like, "Oh, because Dad said that, he's putting me in football." And of course, I want to speed around there and start my stuff, but I had to remember we're co-parenting.
What does he want? What does the kid want? Does he want to do both?
Well, I never asked him that because I never wanted him to trying to choose between us, like which
one to choose. He's choosing both. If he wants to do both.
Well, it would have been him only going for 3 days out of the basketball camp because it was only for 5 days, and then he would have had to stop and then go to football, start a football season. So I mean, he's happy. They went into the what is that called? The
scout reports don't want to see that he played basketball too.
Yeah, I did a lot of that with him down here.
When I tell you about that, I tell you them athletes what they say. Whenever you listen to the scout reports or you listen to them, when we talk about the athletes in the combine, they always say, "Yeah, he played Division II basketball." This, that, and they always mention the other athletic that kid played.
Before we get out of here,
baseball, so that's a big thing.
It is definitely is a big thing.
So before we get out of here, just want to let parents know if they need any help, anything or anything at all. There's a family helpline. Parents Anonymous of New Jersey, and it's 1-800-THE-KIDS. That's easy. It's all about the kids. 1-800-THE-KIDS.
Can't
forget
that.
If you need any help, if you need to talk to anybody, you can talk to any one of us. If you want to off the record talk, if you want record talk on the record, call. Well, it's anonymous, but 1-800-THE-KIDS. If you want to talk to somebody that is special, not DA, the THE, 1-800-THE-KIDS.
Kids with an S, not a Z.
Yes. By the way, a phone number. The phone number.
Yeah, just give them the phone number.
It has to have 7 letters, so DA does not make it. It's
1-800-843-5437.
That's right.
For those,
The kids. Make sure you guys just think about the kids right now. So I want to just before we get out of here, I just want to thank everybody, for coming to the Comfort Level Podcast. Make sure you get back with us on Thursday. We're going to continue some more of these, and we're going to welcome Fred again as a regular on the podcast.
Yes,
and I can't wait to see some of the great topics that he come up with.
Yes, thank y'all for having me.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
So, we're getting there, getting a little better at what we do here at WCND. Y'all,
Make sure to like and share, y'all,
I
too.
know. I didn't even download it. I was going to put the poster up. I forgot, but I promise I'll have it for y'all on Thursday. The holiday show.
Oh, yeah, the holiday show.
That's right. It's
Yep.
coming up.
Over here at WCMD.
You got it?
WCMD.
Wait a minute.
I do. I'm looking for it. We both looking for it
I
now.
got it.
Okay.
Here we go. It's coming right here. So it's the holiday special. It's gonna stream live from here at WCMD Media Friday, December the 23rd.
Yep.
Starts at 7 and it ends at 10 p.m. So we're gonna bring holiday cheer to the entire city. They're gonna have performances, giveaways, special guests, and so much more.
Mm-hmm.
So you tune in to WCMD Media, Facebook Live at WCMD Media, WCMDmedia.com. Also on Roku. Go add WCMD Media, Roku TV.
Yes.
And you can also be a part of this. We're accepting donations. If you or your business would like to donate a gift, a product, or a service to the holiday special, your item will be raffled off to the viewers, and you and your business will also be promoted. Nice.
Free promo.
That's right.
Free promo.
Holiday greetings.
That's huge.
You and your business can record a short video wishing residents happy holiday. Videos should be they should be less than 1 minute and recorded. Okay? What it say? Sideways on your device. Record it sideways on your device. Turn your device and record it long ways, okay? So that we can get a full picture of you when we post it on, the Dare Academy, okay? And you want to send that into Dare Academy Christmas. Dare Academy Christmas at gmail.com. I know I'm saying these things to y'all, but I'll have it all down on Thursday when I come in. We need these by December the 13th. December the 13th. If you want to say, hi, happy holidays and Merry Christmas from the Comfort Level Podcast. There it is. That's all you have to say. All right? For your business. If you want to perform and participate, if you're an artist and you would like to perform a holiday-related piece, or if you would like to just volunteer to be, one of Santa's helpers, send the email to Miss Nye D2D at gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
That's Miss Nye, MISSNYE D, the number 2D, Dare to Dance at gmail.com. What else? Okay. Now, do you have the best holiday decorations in the city?
Oh,
You need to enter to win. It's going down. Do you know somebody, or maybe it's you, that has the best holiday house decorations in the city? Enter to win this year's prize by sending the following to Dare Academy Christmas at gmail.com. You want to send the name, the address, the phone number, and the date that the decorations will be up. Okay. The honorees entered will be featured during our holiday special, and the winner will be announced at the end of the special. Okay. So make sure you guys are there. It's Friday, December 23rd from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. And if you didn't catch any of that, I will have the details to you. You can inbox me or whatever. I'll send them to you. If you subscribe to WCMD Media and Dare Academy and Dare to Dance on social media, Facebook, and the web, then you have all the info. That's right.
Plenty of ways of viewing.
Plenty of ways, right? We all over the place. Plenty of ways.
Yes.
Welcome us to Roku TV. That's a big one, okay? All right, we out of here.
All right. See y'all later. See y'all on Thursday. Don't forget to like and share.
Don't forget to like and share. Thursday.
Thursday, y'all.